How you doing, Jackie?
How's it going, Mark?
Mark from Irishbullytv. Congratulations on your win. Best in show. I just want to ask you a couple of questions, and this is a little bit late happening. I should have done it ages ago, but sure, look, life is life. And I just have a couple of questions, and one of those questions is what's your preparation?
Preparation for show is it's just before the day of the show. It's just getting up, as I say, cleaning up, getting everything organised. I'll pack the car before the night before I go to the show, because you can't be rushing first thing in the morning, especially with dogs and that, because they get a small meal in the mornings, and I bring some food with me during the day if they're hungry and stuff as well, but the work that goes in is incredible, because a lot of people don't see what goes on behind closed doors, and I don't be on Instagram an awful lot showing people what to do and stuff, because that's my own personal thing of going to the ring and doing what I have to do, and it's quite hard and quite difficult, because this is all new to me, I've had dogs before, but a bully is a completely different breed, and I've never thought I'd see myself actually in a ring with a dog for something that I love actually doing, it's incredible.
So I suppose that's the bit that I'm getting at. It's like the bit leading up to the show. So, because I don't imagine you just pull your dog out the morning before the show. There's a preparation.
No. Leading up to the show was, as I say, make sure he has enough exercise, and I also do my own ring craft out the back garden, and stacking and make sure his angulation is right in the back of his legs and stuff, and he's the H frame on the front of him and stuff like that, and he's focused on me, not what's going on around him as well, and I know it's quite hard when you're in a ring with 10, maybe 12, maybe 15 dogs at a time, it's hard to keep them focused, but it works for me, and that's the main thing,
And would you give them rewards for focusing on you, or?
I don't feed him with treats, because he can be distracted. That's something that I've found. I don't lead him with treats. He stays with me just beside him. I don't feed him, reward him. Maybe afterwards I will, I'll reward him when he goes back in the cage and stuff like that.
I get that. Some people call that bribing the dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned there a second ago about the diet being raw.
Well, I have a balance on kibble and raw. I mix the two of them together, but that's what works for me. That's not going into anybody else's, what they do for their dogs, it's just, that's me personally, and I found that it's worked from day one, and my dog is in great condition as well, and it's not really all about the diet of the dog as well. It's a bully is to do with genetics as well too, and going down the line of the bloods and stuff as well. So
can I ask what your raw would consist of? I know it's mixed with kibble, but
my raw would consist of tripe and beef, chicken and beef, duck and beef, tripe. All different. There's always tripe mixed in with my raw,
So, and then in terms of, so there's a couple of different varieties. Would you change that up daily, or just to keep the dog interested?
Yeah, I change that up every single day.
Okay, so I think it's important as well. It'd be like us getting steak every day.
Yeah.
Not that I get steak every day, but you'd soon get fed up with it as well,
of course. And it's all about, as you said, it's just all about the balance as well, and that's the key in looking after your dog too,
Yeah, and I think choice is the healthy option.
100%. And I also feed, again, what works for me, turmeric.
Yes.
Because it's good for the digestive system as well,
and the joints.
And I put sometimes if I don't buy the food with the salmon oil in it, I put a couple of squirts of salmon oil in it as well,
Turmeric is also a natural anti-inflammatory.
That's right.
So it's good for any, maybe if a dog picks up a little injury, it will help heal it. So yeah, it's a good balanced diet, I suppose, you know, to be working from. And is there any of those particular that you like better or worse, or?
No, nothing really, because every time that the dogs are fed, like, you know, and you go out and the balls are cleaned.
Okay.
You know, and I only feed my dogs twice a day. That's it.
How much do you weigh out your food, or?
I give them 2 cups of kibble each and a half a kilo of raw. So they get a half a kilo of the raw in the morning and a half a kilo raw in the afternoon. So a kilo of raw a day
And
and 2 cups of kibble. So it'll be 4 cups of kibble all together throughout the day.
when you say a cup, right? So I have cups at home that's 200 mils.
No, it's only a small, tiny
Okay.
cup. It's not a big cup. You'd have a cup of tea, and it's only that size. It's only a small
right. Because just for viewers and for my own head, because the cups that I use are the Engage cups, and they're 200 mils, and I would give them 2 of them twice a day.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the same stuff. Yeah, that's the exact same.
So I was just trying to get my head around now. They don't always eat 2 of them twice a day. Sometimes I do think I'm feeding the birds. So, Jackie, then I suppose it's not the all be and all important question, but the feeling when you were handed the Best in Show trophy, what was that? Explain to me what that felt like.
It was just, it's hard to explain, like, you know, because every time I look at the trophies there, and they've been there since day one, you know, and it really means a lot to me, because I put in hard work all the time, like, you know, with me dogs, like, you know, and it's something I love doing. But the win, the Best in Show that day was just, it was incredible, and you know, and the welcome and the congratulations I got off all the people who attended the show that day. It was really privileged, you know, to take part in the show and to be in the ring with so many good dogs, you know, and that's what it's all about, is sportsmanship as well, like, you know, and even though sometimes we don't win, we still congratulate people, you know, and that's what it's all about. Be humble, isn't it, like, you know?
Well, look, for me personally, I think, you know, losing with grace is winning. Do you know what I mean? And if you just because you didn't pick up the medal, you can still go out of that ring a winner by congratulating the person who did.
Of course, and that's what I always do. Any show I go to, even if I don't come home with anything whatsoever, it's all about turning up on the day and doing yourself proud as much as you can do, you know. And I like to see everybody win, you know, and that's just me personally, you know, and it's a great feeling, like, you know, and still to this day I still can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot to take in, you know, when it happens. I mean, like, I am part of it, but I'm not as a contestant, but I get emotional. I don't be able to talk to the people who win, because I'd be afraid I'll make them cry, because I'd be all choked up, and, you know, at the end of it, because it's just like so overwhelming. And I think for me some of that is a lot of, you know, a little bit like, thank God it's over, you know, but at the same time it's like feeling it for the person. If I was in their shoes, I'm quite emotional. I
actually couldn't believe it when the judge gave me the first ribbon, you know, and then the second ribbon came, and then the best meal, and then the best variety, you know, and then when you were getting picked out for the top 5 dogs to be picked in Best in Show, like it. And when I seen yourself pointing to me, like, the joy in my face was just unbelievable, like, you know, it was. And at the end, I approached the 2 judges at the end, you know, and the judge particularly who was judging the actual bullies, you know, and I asked him, why did he pick my dog? And he says, the simple reason being is because your dog is a well put together dog. Okay.
Well, that's good to know.
And it's a breed standard as well, you know. So that's exact words he said to me, you know.
Yeah, because the thing I ask every judge after show is, what made you pick that dog? Because what I ask for the judge up front before the show is, I want you to come out of there with 110% your hand on your heart, knowing you pick the best dog to the breed standard on the day. And if you can stand over that 110%, I'm okay with whatever dog you pick. Judge for the feedback, and that's what I mean about coming back out of the ring a winner, even though you lost. If you can pick up on why the judge didn't select your dog and improve on that.
Of course, that's all you can do is if you don't come out a winner on the day, you just recuperate and come back and see where you went wrong and go and rectify it and make yourself better on the next show, like.
Yeah.
You know?
So that brings me nicely into, I suppose, the next question. It's like, you know, well, one part of that question is, what is it you like about shows?
I just love the whole hype of it, and I enjoy it because my kids love it. My kids love getting into the ring for junior handling and stuff, and my wife is my number one supporter, you know, because I work a full-time job, so she's at home and she has the dogs in the conditions that they're in, to be fair, you know, and she deserves the credit as well, not just me, you know, and I'm grateful for that too, like, you know, and I have so many great friends in the bully world as well, like, you know, in the dog world, at the shows, and if you haven't got a booth, people put you up in their booths and stuff and stuff like that, you know what I mean, like, you know, and I just want to give a few people a couple of mentions there, because I think it's only right to do that, because when I came to the dog scene or the dog world, whatever you want to call it, I was welcomed by open arms, you know, and I was taught an awful lot as well, like, don't do this and do that, because I think it's better for your dog if you do this, put the lead on this way or hold it that way, and make sure that, you know, it's all it's all a learning, you know. And when I first get into the bullies, Lee from All Star Bullies, you know, when he has XLs there, and I actually get on to him to buy the dog, you know, and that's when I met a lad with an XL, because I didn't know what an XL was, like, you know. He had a female XL called Lady, and I became very, very good friends with him as well, like, you know, and he's told me loads of stuff, different stuff and stuff. And there's another lad there, Ryan from Machine Bullies, Jordan from Chrome Kennels, two terrible nice lads, you know, and they text me on a regular basis and how's the dogs doing and stuff like that as well. Like, I can mention so many, you know, but these ones who are close to me, and I can't forget my good friend in Iron Bullies in Glasgow, you know, and he's always been there for me from day one.
That's David, is it?
Yeah, David is his name, yeah, and he's absolutely killing it in the shows too, like, you know. He was at the ABKC at the weekend, and first show didn't go too well, but the second day went very well. He took home best male and best female and best of breed and stuff like that as well. So it's good to be around people like this. It's good to be around winners, but it's also good to be around losers as well, you know, and that's the main thing.
I think you need
the balance.
Both for the balance.
100%.
And I just want to go back to something there that you mentioned at the start of this about your partner, your wife, who was here. We can often forget, you know, I'm the same, like, my partner does equally as much, and if not more, than I do with the dogs. Like, she'll walk them. We have full-time jobs and she walks them. When we get home, the same as I do, she'll feed them, you know. And I think people don't see that side of it, that it's a family way of life.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course, it's a team effort.
Yes, most definitely.
100%, like, you know, and I know many people out there who work full-time jobs and their wives are no doubt looking after dogs and stuff as well, like, you know, and hats off to them, like, because it's a full-time job looking after dogs. It really is, like, you know. And even when you're trying to go away on holidays, trying to get them minded and stuff like that, it's
what's a holiday?
It can be, yeah.
What's a holiday?
I don't know, I couldn't tell you, but hopefully I got one this year, you know. But yeah, it's all a reality to me now, because it's something that I actually love doing. Because years ago, when I was a teenager, in my teenage years, and growing through the years, I had cars and stuff, and car shows and stuff was the thing back then, you know. But it's dogs now. It's something that I really, really love doing, you know, and it's great. I really do.
So then, the second part of that question, it's probably gone on to 4 parts of that question, but the second part of that question, I suppose, is for us as Irishbullytv and ICBR Ireland, it's like, what would you like to see us being able to do better or more effective or add on to the show?
There's nothing, because you're doing an amazing job, you know, and the last show even was an example. It started on time and it finished on time, and that's the way a show should be, you know, and hats off to you, like the time, the effort and everything, and the stress and everything that goes into it, like, you know, and it's great to be a part of a worldwide registry, like, you know, and that's it, like, you know, and hats off to all involved, whether it's in Ireland, in Europe, wherever it may be. It's hats off to everyone, like.
Yeah, and I suppose maybe just to, you know, like myself and Angie, and probably I get a little bit more credit than Angie does, but I just want to say Angie does the same, if not more, work behind the scenes and organising it. But we also have a core team of people who we work with in our daily jobs and family who support us to help those shows run smoothly, like, you know. And like you said about having your dogs in their kennels, it's a team effort, and it wouldn't run as smooth if we hadn't got all of those little cogs in there. Definitely. To help us start on time and finish on time.
100%, like, you know, and I actually got me paperwork in the door there last week, you know, and a great turnaround, like, you know, and you've got so much going on as well, like, you know, and it's hard to you've just life in life's terms, as I call it, you know what I mean. You live a busy life and stuff, and you're trying to get back to paperwork and all that. And fair play to you, like, hats off to you, because it seems to be very, very stressful, like, you know.
Oh yeah. So the paperwork. What do you actually think of the paperwork? Very,
very good. Very professional. You know, it's great to just look at it and see all the different pedigrees and stuff, and it's even the way it's headed and stuff like that, yeah. You know, and the quality of the paper as well.
That's what I liked, the colour of it. Was just different for me, you know, seeing that from all the different paperworks that was about. It was like, this is nice, you know. And I think that's probably an exciting time when your paperwork comes in the door, that you can have a look through it and see who's in your pedigree. I know for me, you know, that's some of what I enjoy seeing coming in the door, when you finally get from your puppy slip to your full pedigree, yeah, of paperwork.
Yeah, definitely. But, like, you know, and I also have to mention as well, I actually nearly forgot there, the Bully Mag, what a job she's doing. Unbelievable. Yeah. Like, for such a young girl, like, yeah, you know, and she's so much knowledge of what's going on in different dogs and stuff, and yeah, and the way she presents herself at shows as well, and the way she presents herself on Instagram too, like, you know, and she promotes everyone's dogs, like, you know. It's great to see, like, somebody so young and has a lot of knowledge on different breeds, like, it's incredible, like, you know, as well, like, you know. But I'm looking forward to the next show, yeah, you know, and then my next aim is to get the champion status on my dog, you know, and that's the most important thing for me, because I've set out to do it now, you know.
And I think you need that focus, don't you? That's the end goal. It's not the end goal, but, you know, like, winning a best in show is a great achievement and all that, but it's a stepping stone to somewhere.
Something greater, yeah, and something better, yeah,
you know.
Like, you know.
I think we need to hang on to that for life. Never mind just a dog show. It's like we're always only going here today to get to where we want to go.
100%, and that's what life is all about, you know. And this is, I'm a kind of humble guy, you know, and I'm a nice guy as well. Like, you know, I respect everybody in this dog game, you know, and I don't hate on anybody. I like to see everyone win, lose or draw, you know, and that's the way it is for me. Like,
I think that's important, because, like, there's enough people outside of this community that hate on the breed, and I think we need to be there for each other and encourage each other and big each other up, you know, and support each other. And you give each other tips, and rather than get resentful of someone beating you. I think you need to support them and ask them what it was they done, and try and, I suppose, better yourself every day, because where we're all in competition with each other, our biggest competition is ourselves, you know, and we should be trying to beat what we were yesterday, today.
100%. Like, and even like I got a photo of Ryan from Machine Bullies in a private message, and he says, "Your smile says it all."
Yeah.
Even though he took first place ahead of my dog.
Yeah.
You know, and I was happy for him for the win, like, you know, and he wrote underneath, like, "Your smile says everything, and it was a pleasure to be in the ring with you, and you're one of the real ones around here," you know, and real recognise real around here, and that's the way it is, like, you know. And
thanks very much for taking this interview and your feedback. It's been a pleasure.
I really appreciate that, Mark. Thanks very much, and it's a pleasure to be a part of such a great registry, you know, and I wish you all the best in the future and the success, you know.
I'm hoping I'll see you on the 25th of June.
I will definitely be there, don't be worried about that.
Alright, thanks very much.
Mark.